Hello everyone, welcome to Unacademy, India's largest e-learning platform. Now, in our crash course today, we'll start with the polity part with directive principles of state policy, right? So, there are direct DPSPs mentioned in our constitution. So, let's see DPSPs today. Now, you can join India's largest e-learning platform through various subscriptions like Plus subscription, Iconic subscription, where you will get daily live classes, structured courses, unlimited access for recorded and live classes, along with mock test for the evaluation of your study. We 100 plus top educators will guide you throughout your preparation. So, download Unacademy learning app today and start your preparation. Yes, guys, it's me, Rushikesh Inamdar, having experienced more than 8 years in the field of guiding UPSC aspirants. You can join our Telegram group using this link and you can follow me on Unacademy using this link. Yes, those aspirants wants to start their preparation with modules. There are 15,000 plus courses and modules available on our platform. So start your UPSC CSE preparations today and let's crack it. Now, for the plus subscription, you can use a referral code RBI Live to get 10% discount. And in Iconic subscription as well, use code RBI Live to get 10% discount. Yes, so dear friends, in Iconic subscription, you will get personal coach and assistance like study planner, regular feedback. So you can use all these features in our Iconic subscription. Now, as we are talking about all time regarding batches, so we are going to start new batches from 8th February, right? So you can join our 6 month, 1 year, 2 year batches as per your convenience. Yes, even you can join our NCRT batches also. Yes, guys, do not forget to enroll for upcoming Unacademy Combat scheduled on 7th February in the morning 11 a.m. and win amazing prizes. So let's participate. Yes, on our platform you will get combo of subscriptions like you can study for your general studies and optional as well. Okay, so these are the subscription plans. So you can opt for 12 months, 24 months or 36 months plan. With the referral code RBI Life, you will get 10% discount. So join today and start your preparation. Now, in today's session, we'll study directive principles of state policy. Yes, as we are studying few articles mentioned in our constitution. So now, what are the articles are describing about DPSP, that is Directive Principles of State Policy? Yes, tell me guys. Right. Yes. So Article 36 to 51 describes directive principles of state policy. So which is mentioned in part 4 of the constitution. Right. Now these DPSPs borrowed from the Irish constitution, that is from Ireland. Alright. Yes. So remember this basic borrowings of DPSP. Now, drafting committee chairman and we can say chairman of drafting committee Dr. B.R. Ambedkar described these DPSPs as novel features, novel features of the Indian Constitution. Now, we'll see after studying DPSPs, you will come to the conclusion why Dr. Ambedkar described DPSPs as a novel features. Right now, the DPSPs, along with the fundamental rights, contain the philosophy of the Constitution and is the soul of the Constitution. Just write down the point. So, the directive principles, along with fundamental rights, contain the philosophy of the Constitution and is the soul of the Constitution. Yes, guys. Now, one of the historian of our Indian Constitution, right, Granville Austin, has described the directive principles and the fundamental rights as the conscience of the Constitution. Okay. Yes. Now, we'll see the features of the directive principles. So, DPSPs denotes the ideals the state should that the state should keep in mind while formulating policies and enacting laws. So, these are the most important ideals or base frame we can say, that is DPSPs. Okay, so these are the constitutional instructions or recommendations to the state legislative, executive, and administrative matters. Right. So, Article 36, the term state in the part 4 has the same meaning as in the part 3 dealing with the fundamental rights. So, here guys, remember the scope and definition or meaning of the state is the same as per mentioned in the part 3, all right, of the Constitution. Now, what we are saying that it includes the legislative and executive organs of the central and state governments, all local authorities, and all other public authorities in the country. It means these are the directive principles should, or these are the helpful, and they will help to these authorities while enacting any laws and rules. Alright. So the directive principle resemble the instrument of instructions. Okay. Instrument of instructions enumerated in the Government of India Act 1935. In other words, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said that the directive principles are like the instrument of instructions which were issued to the Governor General and the governors of the colonies of India by the British government under the Government of Act 1935. Okay, so after the independence, we are just changed in those principles and we have amended few principles as per our requirement. So what is called directive principles is merely another name for the instrument of instructions. Now the only difference is that they are instructions to the legislature and executive. All right. Now next point is that the directive principles constitute a very comprehensive economic, social, political program for a modern democratic state. So see how it is important DPSPs and DPSP's role in a modern democratic state. Right. So they aim at realizing the high ideals of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity as outlined in the preamble of the constitution. So basically DPSP's aim, we can say its aim to realizing the high ideals of justice, liberty, equality and fraternity in this society. Next, the concept of a welfare state and not that a police state which existed during the colonial era. So now we'll say why DPSP, because it will promote concept of a welfare state. As we know, during British era there was police state. Okay, now after independence we thought to change that police state into welfare state, and DPSPs will help you to promote this welfare state. All right, now it means DPSPs seek to establish economic and social democracy in the country. Right? Yes, guys. Now, next point is the directive principles are non-justiciable in nature, that is, they are not legally enforceable by the courts for their violation. Okay, so DPSPs are non-justiciable in nature, that is, they are not legally enforceable by the courts for their violation. So the government, central, state and local governments cannot be compelled to implement them. Nevertheless, the Constitution Article 37 itself says that these principles are fundamental in the governance of the country, and it shall be the duty of the state to apply these principles in making laws. So DPSPs are not justiciable in the nature, but these principles are fundamental in governance of the country, and it shall be the duty of the state to apply these principles in making laws. Right? Now, next point is, yes guys, so the directive principles, the non-justiciable in nature, help the courts in examining and determining the constitutional validity of a law. Yeah, as we know, DPSPs are non-justiciable in nature, but these principles help the courts in examining and determining the constitutional validity of a law. Right? Now, if we'll discuss few Supreme Court's judgments or their statements. So, Supreme Court has ruled many times that in determining the constitutionality of any law, if a court finds that the law in question seeks to give effect to directive principle, it may consider such a law to be reasonable in relation to Article 14, that is equality before law, or Article 19, that is sixth freedom mentioned in the Article 19, and thus save such a law from unconstitutionally. Alright, so just note down these points related with the DPSPs. Yes guys, now further we'll study classification of the directive principles. Yes. So the constitution does not contain any classification of DPSPs, but on the basis of their content and direction, they can be classified into three broad categories. Right. So in our constitution, there are no such type of classification mentioned. Okay, but on the basis of their content and direction, they can be classified into three broad categories. So first is socialist, Gandhian and liberal intellectual. Okay, now we'll see these broad categories in detail. Yes, guys. Yes, I hope everybody is on same page, right? So, classification of the directive principles. Yes, first is socialist principles. So, these principles reflect in the ideology of socialism. Yes. So, already we are studied in the part of social issues and all that. What is meant by socialism? Alright. Now, these principles lay down the framework of a democratic socialist state aimed at providing social and economic justice and the path towards welfare state. Alright, now they direct the state to promote the welfare of the people by securing a social order permeated by justice, social, economic, and political, and to minimize inequalities in income, status, facilities, and opportunities, which mentioned in the Article 38. Yes, guys. So, here is the first point related with the socialist principles to promote the welfare of the people. Next, to secure right to adequate means of livelihood for all citizens, to secure the equitable distribution of material resources of the community for common good, to secure prevention of concentration of wealth and means of production, to secure equal pay for equal work for men and women. Next, preservation of the health and strength of workers and children against forcible abuse and opportunities for healthy development of children. All this described in Article 39. Alright, so the right to adequate means of livelihood for all citizens, the equitable distribution of material resources, prevention of concentration of wealth and means of production, and equal pay for equal work, equal pay for equal work for men and women, preservation of the health and strength of workers and children against forcible abuse, and opportunities for healthy development of children. All right. So Article 39 describes all these features. Now, third one is to promote equal justice and to provide free legal aid to the poor mentioned in the Article 39A. Next one is to secure the right to work, to education, and right to public assistance in cases of unemployment, old age, sickness, and disablement. Right, deals in the Article 41. Next is this principle relates with the to make provision for just and human conditions of work and maternity relief mentioned in the Article 42. Now next, to secure a living wage, a decent standard of life and social and cultural opportunities for all workers mentioned in the Article 43, to secure a living wage and decent standard of life and social and cultural opportunities for all workers. Next, yes guys, to take steps to secure the participation of workers in the management of industries mentioned in the Article 43A. So this clause is deals with the to secure the participation of workers in the management of industries, which will create healthy environment and cooperative environment to all. Next, to raise the level of nutrition and the standard of living of people and to improve public health mentioned in the article 47. Yes guys, so after social or socialism principles will study Gandhian principles. All right, so these principles are based on Gandhian ideology, which means they represent the program of reconstruction initiated by Gandhi during the national movement. Right. So, in order to fulfill the dreams of Gandhiji, some of his ideas were included as directive principles. So, they required the state to organize village panchayats and endow them with necessary powers and authority to enable them to function as units of self government. As we know, Gandhiji focused or promoted self government throughout the country, and he forwarded the message of self government, right? So, to organize village panchayats, this is the basic pillar of the self government. Now, next principle related with the Gandhian principle is to promote cottage industries on an individual or cooperation basis in rural areas mentioned in Article 43. Next is to promote voluntary formation, autonomous functioning, democratic control, and professional management of cooperative societies mentioned in the Article 43p. Next is to promote the educational and economic interests. To promote the educational and economic interests of SC, STs and other weaker sections of the society and to protect them from social injustice and exploitation. Yes, mentioned in the article 46. As we know, weaker sections, economically weaker section or SCs or STs, they need to be work in the main flow, main channel of our country, that is development and developing channel, right? So it's promote the educational and economic interest of SC/STs and other weaker sections. Now, this principle to prohibit the consumption of intoxicating drinks and drugs which are injurious to health mentioned in the article 47. Right. Now next to promote sorry next is to prohibit the slaughter of cows and other milk and draught cattle and to improve their breeds. So next principle is to prohibit, or we can say ban, to prohibit the slaughter of cows and other milk and draught cattle and to improve their breeds, which will related with the, we can say, our surroundings and which will help to the improve their breeds, which will help in our development process. All right. Now, next is liberal and intellectual principles. Now, these principles in this category represent the ideology of liberalism. So, they direct the state to secure all citizens a uniform civil code UCC. Yes, Already we have covered this topic. So which is mentioned in the article 44. So this ideology of liberalism direct the state to secure for all citizens a uniform civil code throughout the country, which described in the article 44. Next is to provide early childhood care and education for all children until they complete the age of 6 years, mentioned in the article 45. Next, to organize agriculture and animal husbandry on modern and scientific lines, mentioned in the article 48. Yes. So next is to protect and improve the environment. So next DPSP is related with the, yes. So in this idealism is to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard forest and wildlife, mentioned in the article 48A. Right. So next point is to protect monuments, places and objects of artistic or historic interest which are declared to be of national importance. So Article 49 deals with the protect monuments, places and objects of artistic or historic interest. Alright, next is to separate the judiciary from the executive in the public services of the state, mentioned in the article 40. Yes. Now next article, that is article 51, which describe as to promote international peace and security and maintain just and honorable relations between nations, to foster respect for international law and treaty obligations, and to encourage settlement of international disputes by arbitration. So basically article 51 deals with or promoting international peace and security, right? So this is the overview of DPSPs through three broad categories. Yes, if you have any doubts you can ask. Yes guys. Okay, so we'll move further now. Already we have studied all DPSPs now through articles. Now we'll see under which amendment these principles added into the original list. So 42 Amendment Act of 1976 is a major step and added 4 new DPSPs into the original list. So first is Article 39 was added under the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, which described as to secure opportunities for healthy development of children. Next, Article 39A, which described as to promote equal justice and to provide free legal aid to the poor. For example, a person is not able to, or he's not in capacity to afford any legal advisor or any particular services due to his poor condition, then our state promote for under the equal justice, they will provide free legal aid to this man, which mentioned in the DPSPs. Alright, and Article 39A deals with this. So next is Article 43A added by 42nd Amendment of 1976, which described as to take steps to secure the participation of workers in the management of industries. Alright, so it will create competitive environment and workable conditions at their workplace. Right, now next is fourth principle added into the DPSPs was to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard forest and wildlife mentioned in the Article 48A. Now, if we are talking about our ecology and environment, so the protect and improve the environment and to safeguard forest and wildlife. So, as we know, the important role of our environment and ecology in our society, right? That is, we are talking about developing society. Okay, so next, the 44th Amendment Act 1978 added one more DPSP, that is Directive Principle, which requires the state to minimize inequalities in income, status, facilities, and opportunities mentioned in Article 38. So remember guys, 44th Amendment Act of 1978 added one more directive principle, which stated that state should promote or they apply the laws or regulations, that is they will work towards to minimize inequalities in income, status, facilities, and opportunities. All right, now after that, next amendment, 86th Amendment Act. Yes guys, 86th Amendment Act of 2002 changed the subject matter of Article 45 and made elementary education a fundamental right under Article 21A. So, 86th Amendment Act of 2002 changed the subject matter of Article 45 and made elementary education a fundamental right under Article 21A. Already we have studied under fundamental right. Okay, so the amended directive requires the state to provide early childhood care and education for all children until they complete the age of 6 years. So under this fundamental right we can say, so state to provide early childhood care and education for all children until they complete the age of 6 years. Yes. Now, next amendment, that is the 97th Amendment Act of 2011 added a new directive principle relating to cooperative societies. Yes, under Article 43B, the state to promote voluntary formation, autonomous functioning, democratic control, and professional management of cooperative societies. As we know, in our country, cooperative societies and their work spread in a positive way to help society if we are talking about education, cultural, and all aspects. They are helpful to our society to walk towards the or reach to our goal of development, overall inclusive growth and development as well. Right now, in the next point, sanction behind directive principles. So we'll see few sanction, that is, yes, so few observations by scholars. So Sir B.N. Rao, the constitutional advisor to the Constituent Assembly, recommended that the rights of an individual the rights of an individual should be divided into two categories, justiciable and non-justiciable, which was accepted by the drafting committee, and consequently the fundamental rights which are justiciable in nature are incorporated in part 3, and the DP directive principles which are non-justiciable in nature are incorporated in part 4 of the constitution. So these rights, like justiciable rights, into the part 3, and non-justiciable was incorporated or are incorporated in part 4 of the constitution. So as already we have discussed, the directive principles are non-justiciable. So the constitution article 37 make it clear that these principles are fundamental in the governance of the country, and it shall be the duty of the state to apply these principles in making laws. We already studied this statement. So these principles are fundamental in the governance of the country, right? So what we can say, in other words, they impose a moral obligation on the state authorities for their application. All right. Yes. Now next. Yes, guys, just remember these points. Next. Another expert or member in Constituent Assembly, Alladi Krishna Swami Iyer, said that no ministry responsible to the people can afford lightheartedly to ignore the provisions in the part 4 of the constitution. Sorry. So these are the few comments from experts. Now next comment by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar said in the Constituent Assembly that a government which rests on popular vote can hardly ignore the directive principles while shaping its policy. If any government ignores them, it will certainly have to answer for that before the electorate at the election time. So, this comment by the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in the Constituent Assembly. Now, the framers of the Constitution made the directive principles non-justiciable and legally non-enforceable because the country did not possess sufficient financial resources to implement them. Next reason is that the presence of vast diversity and backwardness in the country would stand in the way of their implementation. Right. Now already we have learned that these DPSPs are non-justiciable and legally non-enforceable. So we are just studying now reasons why these are the non-justiciable, because and non-enforceable, legally enforceable, because at that time the country did not possess sufficient financial resource to implementation of DPSPs, and the presence of vast diversity and backwardness in the country. Right. Next reason was the newly born independent India state, with its many preoccupations, might be crushed under the burden unless it was free to decide the order at the time, the place, and the mode of fulfilling them. Right. So, newly born independent Indian state, with its many preoccupations, might be crushed under the burden of implementation of DPSPs. And next, the constitution makers, therefore taking a pragmatic view, refrained from giving teeth to these principles. Alright, so they believed more in an awkward public opinion rather than in court procedures as the ultimate sanction for the fulfillment of these principles. Right, so these are the reasons. Yes, friends. Now, these are the few details and overview of DPSPs. So in the next lecture, we'll continue the remaining part of DPSPs. So till the time, you can revise what we have studied today, and do not forget to enroll for Unacademy Combat scheduled on 7th February, that is upcoming Sunday morning 11 a.m. So we have mentioned link in the description, so enroll now for the Unacademy Combat and win amazing prizes. Yes, so like, share and subscribe our videos, join our Telegram group using this link, and use our referral code to get 10% discount. So guys, keep studying, keep revising, and let's crack it.